Hey, wow. I had a lot of trouble with this video I'm about to do. I am now live in my new home, thank God, and with my new painting that I bought. I love this painting, a black man with part of his face. Oh, yes, I esteem black men in the highest regard. And I was really fought when I was trying to get this video done and get started and go live. And I know I was fought for a reason because, whenever it's something good, the enemy doesn't want you to get it across and get it done. I know you guys are going to give me a lot of, I want to say, a lot of heck. I'll use that word for this title that I used. But immediately let me just say this first of all to my subscribers, I want you to like this channel. I want you to subscribe to this channel, and I want you to click the notification bell so you'll get all my notifications whenever I am on live. I know I'm smiling right now, but I am excited, first of all, to be able to esteem an actor. And the thumbnail that I picked on this page has the actor smiling. And I'm sure he would love for us to smile because he always had a positive way of thinking and a positive personality. So let me do this live. It is titled Successful Ladies Live Failed or did not take the great opportunity it had to esteem actor Chadwick Boseman. Now, this live is dedicated to him, and it is dedicated to actors that have integrity in their acting, and they don't mind saying it, and they hold on to it, and they show forth in their films and the way they pick their choices. So I wanted to do a live regarding Chadwick Boseman. Immediately when I thought about doing the live, when I saw the news, all of a sudden my YouTube clicked and I had a notification from Successful Ladies Live. So I said, well, rather than diving right into this live about Chadwick Boseman, the actor that has passed away, God rest his soul, we give condolences to his family and his friends, and to each of you, his fans. I was a fan. When I heard it, it hurt me to my heart. It hurt me as if it was news that I got of anybody in my family, and I had to adjust myself. So, in the middle of adjusting myself, I got ready to think about doing the live and how I was going to do it. And yes, Successful Ladies Live came on. And I said, well, let me just take a listen and see, some of the things that she may have that will keep me from having some of the homework that I would like to do concerning the actor Chadwick Boseman. But when I watched it, I was hugely disappointed that in none of the segment was there anything that was mentioned of his acting career, of what he portrayed, what he stood for, or anything. Actually, the segment was so disappointing because it was an opportunity to me that Successful Ladies Live, that normally does very thorough research, would take that opportunity and give you something great concerning this man. But I should not have been surprised because Successful Ladies Live is not known to esteem black men very high. But this was an opportunity for her to do a complete 360 turn around, because this was one black man that was awesome. He was a great man. And so this live is not about her. It is about him. First of all, let me tell you some things that he accomplished and how many movies, or the names of the movies that he acted in. So let me go ahead and put these on because I want to make sure I get this right, guys. But anyway, he acted in a movie called The Black Panther, which we know is well known. We'll get back to The Black Panther. I mentioned that first. But The Black Panther movie called 21 Badges, a movie called Get On Up, featuring his portrayal of James Brown, a movie called The Five Bloods. I'm sure he did that one with Spike Lee. Captain America, Avengers Infinity War, Marshall, Avengers Endgame, That Day, The Express, Gods of Egypt, The Kill Hole. Let's see what else. Black Bottom. I probably will miss something. Spider-Man in 2017, Homecoming. In 2012, Heaven. 2013, Perfect Day, and 2014, Draft Day. There was also, I think, a movie. I think that's it. Oh, A Message from the King. Wow. That was one of my favorite movies that Chadwick Boseman did. It was just a complete, powerful movie from the beginning to the end. This black man of God, and I say of God because some of the things he said, he had a relationship with God, and he was a man with strong integrity, and he is going to be very much missed, especially by me. Personally, I was impressed with him. I was intrigued with his acting. I was intrigued with his integrity whenever he would speak or whenever he would be approached or talked to. I remember when Kevin Hart approached him about doing a movie with him, and Kevin Hart had him kind of on a live and put him kind of in a spot where he just had to say yes. But it didn't matter what kind of spot he was in, and that Kevin Hart put him in. He didn't say yes. He eloquently backed out of the situation and still was very poised about it, even though he was put in in a predicament or put in a position that he would have had to say yes. Chadwick Boseman, to me, was a living legend, and I want to talk about him. I want to give him his flowers, even though I couldn't give them before. My children's father died in 2016 at the young age of in his 40s, and Chadwick Boseman was 43. So, we have some legends, and my children's father was a legend also. We have some legends that are leaving us, and this was really sad, and it was really hurtful to me to hear this news. I immediately put it on my Facebook for people to pray for his family, and I really, really wanted to do this live and give him his just due. First, one of the things I want to say to you is Chapman was nominated for several nominations and nominated for Academy Award for that movie, Black Panther. However, the movie, the Green, what was it called? Green something, actually won the nomination for Best Picture. Black Panther won the Oscar for Best Costume Design and Best Motion Picture Design. I have written down here, yes. And the screen, he got several nominations. One of them was from the Screen Actors Guild, and there was also one from the NAACP. We'll get to some of those, but I've got so much I want to talk to you about him because he deserves to be talked about. Now, he doesn't deserve to be talked concerning what he was eating that might have contributed to him not having enough blood cells and things like that. That is not what's important when it comes to somebody like him, who is a living legend passing away. So let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. Chadwick Boseman, Chadwick Boseman. He was a Howard graduate. Now, to graduate from Howard, that is a very prestigious school, and he was a graduate from Howard. There were others that graduated from Howard. Let me give you some of their names. There was Roberta Flack. There was Toni Morrison. There was Thurgood Marshall. and there was Zari Harrison. Those were other blacks that are very well known. Thurgood Marshall was a judge that was very well known. Roberta Flack, I know you know her from music, and Toni Morrison from her books, and also what did we say? Zuri Harrison. I don't know her well enough to say who she is, but I do want to say, you know what, guys? I am just trying to get comfortable here so I can really talk about Chadwick Boseman. And this, I want this live, really. I want this live to be really, really good. I took so much time to work on my research concerning Chadwick because I knew he deserved it. I knew he deserved every bit of care of making sure I cross every T and dot every I. So let me go ahead and look at some of the things that I wrote down concerning Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman was born in, let's see, where was he born? In South Carolina, I believe. One of the things that I had written down here was that they tested his DNA to see where he was from, originally where he was from. And actually, it said that he was born in Anderson, South Carolina, and his DNA showed that his ancestors came from Sierra Leone, which is in Nigeria. And Nigeria has, to me, Nigeria has some of the best black men in Nigeria that come to America that do great things. And it's not a wonder to me that to get to Nigeria, you have to have a visa to get in. You have to have a visa to get out. There are several countries you can visit, but for some reason, America makes it very hard to be able to go to Nigeria. And I believe one of the reasons that this is because a part of not wanting us as blacks to know our heritage and not making it so easy for us to experience another country that has our heritage. You have to get a passport, you have to get a visa, you got to get certain shots you got to get before you can go. How do I know this? Because I planned a trip to go in March, and I had to do all of these things and jump through all of these hoops. And you have to go through immigration to go through getting a visa, a very rigorous thing to get out of the country to go to a country. And Americans are usually able to go anywhere with just a passport or with just their identification. It's very hard it's very rigorous to get what you need to go to Nigeria. But I wanted to say that he was nominated for several things. In 2018, he was nominated for two things: Outstanding Action in a Motion Picture and Entertainer of the Year. Also, I did mention already that the movie Black Panther that was he was in won three Oscars. Two of the Oscars were Best Costume Design, and then another one was Best Production Design. The first Black woman to win in that category of Best Costume Design. So I don't know how many Black women are making costumes for movies, but this was the first Black woman that won. And Best Production Design was the first Black to be nominated as well as win in Black Panther. Black Panther broke records. And Black Panther was the Marvel movie that displayed us Blacks having a superhero. And it was the first time in history that we were able to have a superhero. And that leading actor was Chadwick Boseman. He was the leading actor in that movie, and he was our superhero. But not only was he our superhero in Black Panther, but he was our superhero as an actor in life. And I want to tell you why. One of the reasons why is because he had such a life of integrity. He had made mention that he found that he had a conflict with a lot of things in acting. One of the things, and I believe he was an activist, in my opinion, in his own right, but he had a conflict with certain things that conflicted him with acting. He had a role in the soap opera, and in that soap opera, in that role that he had, he was a young man that was being lured into a game, and he had a absent father and a mother. And he noted that they automatically assumed that Black people that had this situation dealt with certain things in the movie. So he voiced an opinion about it. All he did was say an opinion that he had, or just had some questions. And immediately, when he voiced his opinion about the conflict that he had in that movie, and I'm sure he didn't voice it as a conflict, but it was conflicting to him that nobody knew, really what is going on in homes that have single families, but they assume. So when he voiced that, to have it noted, I don't know if he was trying to make changes or just he was voicing his opinion, but he was fired. He was fired for doing that. So that's one of the things I wanted to note about his integrity. Boseman had a really, really, really attitude and personality of integrity. You can tell the way he walked. He was very confident in himself as a Black man, as a Black leader, actor in our nation. So I want to say that he found that, and this is quoted from him, he encountered conflict between professional ambition and personal beliefs and values. So whenever, let me break that down. Whenever we have professional ambition, we always experience a conflict in the values, and holding our personal values and our beliefs. And so Boseman, with his conflict, he didn't let that stop him. He didn't let it stop him from achieving being the actor that he became. And let me tell you something. Black Panther, let's go to that. Black Panther was a box office breaker, breaking all records. So, as I said, this is the first superhero film it was nominated for an Academy Award, of course, for Best Picture. They received 6 other nominations. And of course, like I said, they only won 3 Oscars. Now, in 2019, I believe, the Screen Actors Guild Awards nominated him for Outstanding Cast in a Motion Picture. Another thing Boseman did was he would address things. He would stand up for things that he believed in. And one of those things Boseman addressed was that he addressed conflict. He addressed cultural things that bothered him in film, coupled with things in the world that exemplified how he wanted the world to see us. So what he did was he addressed conflict, but in Black Panther, he wanted, and they wanted, the cast wanted to show how they wanted the world to see us, the world to see us as people in that movie. And so in that movie, this was the image that they wanted to portray. It's Black people in a positive image. Black people having positive lives. Black people encountering things and fighting for what they believe, and having passions and desires that were normal, not anything jaded, not anything that was portrayed by someone that did not know who we were as Black people. And so I wanted to mention that. I also wanted to mention, as a Harvard graduate, he did give a speech, and these were some of the things that he said, and I'll call these nuggets. So we're going to call these Chadwick Boseman's nuggets. He said to the graduates, take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first, then successes, then you will not regret it. So he told them to take the more difficult way. Don't go for the easy way. There's always going to be somebody in the pathway that's going to show you an easy way and offer you more money for the easy way. But this message from Chadwick was saying, take the harder way, take the more difficult way. If you take the more difficult way and the harder way, then you can receive the successes, and you will not regret it. Another thing that Chadwick said, and I called, like I said, these nuggets, right? And I'm smiling because I said, I'm going to smile. I'm going to smile because this man of God did such a great tribute as a Black man for us to have an example of in this world. Now, let me read this one. I had to read my chicken scratch. He also said, and I quote from the NPR off the web, he also said, everything you fight for is not for you, but for those that come after you. So everything that you're fighting for right now is not necessarily for you, but for those people that are coming after you. That's what that fight is for. And then he also said, your very existence is wrapped up for those things you are here to fulfill. In other words, you're existing right now, and your existence is all wrapped up in the things that you are supposed to fulfill in this life. If you're an artist, you're a singer, you're supposed to fulfill something in this life that will encourage people in your song, in your words, in your choice of words. And that is what you're here for. You don't want to fulfill something that is not conducive to building people up, or building your culture up, or building our nation up. Another thing he said was to savor the taste of your triumphs today, not just swallow the moment whole without digesting it, but actually savoring it, savoring the taste of your triumphs today. So another thing he said was, look down. He said, look down over what you have conquered and appreciate what God has brought you through. See, I told you he was a man of God. He said, look down over your accomplishments, and what you have conquered, and appreciate what God has brought you through. Isn't that great? Another thing that Chadwick Boseman said was that he, I already told you, he said, take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one that's full of failures at first, then successes, then you will not regret it. I saw him as a man, a Black man, that was very insightful in his choices of the roles that he depicted. Let me tell you about one of those roles he played. He played in the movie 42. I think the movie 42 was the one that was with Jackie Robinson. Yeah, it was. In 2013, he portrayed Jackie Robinson in the movie 42. Also, he worked with Spike Lee in the movie The Five Bloods. And he portrayed James Brown in the movie Get On Up. There were so many characters that he portrayed. But the main thing that Chadwick Boseman did that we remember is when he was in Black Panther and he was king, he was prince. Then he became king. And his name was called, and I got to get his name right, guys. Hold on, let me get his name right. He was called King T'Challa. T'Challa. I knew I would mess that name up. King T'Challa. But the two of the greatest movies that I like that Chadwick Boseman did was Message to the King and Black Panther. Those are personal favorites of mine. In Message to the King, he came looking and searching. Message from the king. I'm sorry. Did I say to the king? From the king in 2016. Message from the king. He came in with a thunder. He came in with a wrath, looking for his sister, searching for his sister. And he came with a message, and he delivered that message, and he played that role so successfully. But in that role, I saw a Black man standing for what he believed in looking for his sister and making sure that he left a message wherever he went, that he was there, that he was there, that the king was there, and he was coming with the thunder. And in Black Panther, he portrayed the leader, the king, the prince that went through the things that he went through as a prince. And even though it seemed like he failed and he wasn't going to get back up from the thing that would keep his kingdom intact, it looked like he wasn't going to make it. But he got up, he got up, he got up, and he showed in that getting up the triumph. He showed in that getting up what he could do to show the nation. You better stop, Joy, messing up my life, showing me pictures and images. But anyway, he showed in Black Panther a great example to our youth, to our young people, of being a leader, being the head and not the tail. And that's some of the things that he mentioned in his speech. He said that we could be the head and not the tail, and above and not beneath. Not only that, let me say some other things that he said, and I'm going to wrap this up. I didn't want this to be but about 30 minutes, but I wanted to make sure that we gave an applause to Chadwick Boseman for his life that he gave us, the time that he was in this earth, the message that he left for us. I'm not going to talk about any controversial theories that about his life and what happened. I do feel that I have never heard of many people dying from colon cancer when they're being treated. I've never heard of it. I've heard of them recovering, but that's a whole nother story. I'm not here for that. I'm here to give him applause. I'm here to give him a hand because he affected many lives, and he touched my life in his portraying of those roles. And when he was in those roles, he displayed that leader mentality of a Black man being a leader, of a Black man being not afraid. And he delivered that to us. And in the roles that he chose to play, the roles that he chose to act in, he chose roles that would not be degrading to him or anybody that is African, or you want to call it African American or Black American. He chose roles that would deliver a message, that would show us the greatness in James Brown, that would show us the greatness in Jackie Robinson. He chose those roles. He chose to play those roles, and he left them behind for us to see, and he left them behind for our children to see. All those great roles, all those roles that depict Blacks in a good light, that depict Blacks in a favorable light. So that's what I'm here to say. There is no way that anybody should be able to do a live video and not give applause or talk about his accomplishments, because his accomplishments were too massive. His accomplishments, all the movies that he did, I didn't even know he did all those movies, but his accomplishments were great. And those are the things that he left behind for us as Blacks to see. And let me just say these last few things that he said. He said, we are young, gifted, and Black, and we know what it is like to live, to be the head, not the tail, but the head. And I'm sorry, we know what it's like to be the tail and not the head. And we know what it's like to be beneath and not above. And he showed a world, he created a world. He talked about in Black Panther that they wanted to create a world that we want to see, that our children want to see, that we dream about. So they created that world in Black Panther for us to see Blacks making things, building things, accomplishing things, and being leaders and heads. And of course, he also, let me read this, and this is very important because I wrote this down sideways. I believe he was a person of activism. In his commencement speech, he said this, and I quote, that we should always be fueled by a sense of purpose and God, and represent the what is it that I wrote here? The intellectual journey, that we undergo while we're here, that we have to represent, and that this is the greatest thing that we need to do in life. And like I said, it was really deep that I found out that his DNA showed that he was from Sierra Leone. And I said that specifically for people in Nigeria. I have a love for Nigeria and a love for the people in Nigeria. And I wanted to say that. And he looks like he has Nigerian blood in him. So I wanted to say those things about Chadwick Boseman. And I wanted to give this tribute to him, and I wanted to do it justice. And I didn't want it to be just something thrown up there where people will talk about this or talk about that. But I want this to be a special tribute to his family so that they would know that I am one, that he touched my life, and it really hurt me to hear that that happened, that he is no longer with us. But he has left such a legacy. He was a living legend. And I don't know about you, but I want to be a person that is a living legend. So when I'm gone, you don't know my beginning, you don't know my ending, but you just know the in between of what I accomplished in the earth. So hats off to Chadwick Boseman. We ask that you pray for his family and that he rests in peace, which we know he is. And I am really saddened by it. I am. I said I wasn't going to do this without a smile. When I looked at the picture that I wanted to put on the thumbnail, I said, let me pick a picture that's smiling, because I want us to rejoice in the life that he lived, and to rejoice in what he left behind, and to rejoice that he is in a better place and he is with the Father in heaven. So God bless you. Please make sure that you subscribe to my channel, like my channel. I know this was kind of a short clip video, but I did want to give his accomplishments and make sure that I did that. I love you guys. And you know, I do things on purpose with a purpose, and I don't do things happenstance. And God put it on my heart when it happened and it dropped. God put it on my heart to do it. And that's who I do. I obey God. So I want you to subscribe to this channel, and I want you to give your applause right here on this channel of how you appreciate the things that he did. and I interview that hear some of the things that I've said and the movies that he was in, that you know anything about the movies, just comment below of what he did in those movies that you like, the acting, which ones you like the best, and how he affected you and how you enjoy his acting and his legacy. God bless you. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And also, you can find me at evangelistmarilyngaye.com on my website and give your information for my WATW Networking Entrepreneurs Group. Bye, you guys. It's been fun, but I got to run. And now, as usual, you know what I do? I drop the mic. Bing.